What if the biggest difference between where you are and where you want to be isn't talent, luck, or motivation, but cadence? Not a heroic sprint once in a while, but a reliable daily rhythm. This book argues that the most powerful lever you have is the habit of building yourself every single day. Small, visible, compounding actions that turn goals into systems, effort into identity, and time into an ally instead of a thief. The shift begins with a simple reframe. Goals set the direction. Systems create progress. Wanting to be fit, skilled, calm, or successful is common. Showing up with a repeatable process is rare, and that's why it works. When you commit to a system, your brain stops bargaining and starts executing. You don't ask, "Do I feel like it?" You ask, "What's the next small piece?" The author calls this identity-based building. You don't work out. You are a person who trains. You don't write when inspired. You are a person who ships drafts daily. The behavior proves the identity, and the identity makes the behavior easier tomorrow. The architecture of daily building rests on 4 keystone foundations: sleep, movement, focus, and clarity. Sleep resets the brain's learning and discipline circuits. Protect a consistent window and a screen-free wind down. Movement is the ignition key. 10 minutes of brisk walking or push-up ladders will outclass an hour of guilt. Focus is your scarce resource. Guard it with quiet mornings, phone-free blocks, and a short list of 3 essential tasks. Clarity is the antidote to procrastination. Define your next physical action so precisely that your body could start before your mind argues. Compounding is the quiet hero of the book. 1% better per day isn't a slogan, it's math. When you improve a process by tiny margins, you stack advantages that become visible months later. The mechanism is the habit loop: cue, action, reward. Make cues obvious, actions tiny, and rewards immediate. Put the book and pen on the pillow so writing 1 paragraph is the path of least resistance. Prepare clothes and shoes at the door so a quick run is easier than negotiating with yourself. Pair new habits with old ones. After I pour coffee, I read 5 pages. After I brush my teeth, I stretch for 60 seconds. Reduce friction for good behaviors. Add friction to the ones you're trying to retire. The book teaches minimums and ceilings. A minimum is the smallest version you do even on bad days. 5 minutes of practice, 10 lines, 10 push-ups, 1 outreach message. A ceiling is the maximum you'll do on a normal day to prevent boom and bust cycles. Minimums keep the chain unbroken. Ceilings keep you from exploding, crashing, and ghosting your future self. Focus gets a dedicated chapter, because without it, consistency dissolves. The author recommends single task blocks of 40 to 50 minutes, a visible timer, and a 2-minute shutdown ritual at the end of each block to note what you finished and what comes next. Keep 1 capture tool for ideas, scatter capture systems, and you scatter your focus. Protect 2 golden hours each day, times when your brain naturally performs best, and put your most valuable work there. Put your phone in another room during those hours. Willpower is a myth when friction is 0. Skill building is not just repetition, it's deliberate practice. Choose a narrow slice, design a drill, get feedback, and repeat. Short feedback loops beat long evaluation cycles. Film your presentation, listen to your call, ask a mentor for 1 specific critique, not 10. Stack micro skills into unfair advantages: writing plus analytics plus public speaking, design plus psychology plus sales. Skill stacking multiplies your value without waiting for a single mythical talent to appear. The book's mindset engine blends growth mindset with calm realism. You can't control outcomes, but you always control effort, attention, and attitude. Use the 2-sentence reframe when you stumble. This is data, not doom. And here's the next smallest step. Replace vague guilt with concrete practice. Instead of "I'm behind," say "I'll do 10 minutes now." Instead of "I ruined the day," say Half dose beats zero dose. Momentum respects physics. It prefers small pushes in the same direction. Resilience here isn't about gritting your teeth forever. It's about becoming anti-fragile, benefiting from stress you can measure and recover from. The author offers the 5x5 reset: 5 slow breaths, 5 sips of water, 5 minutes of movement, 5 lines of review, 5 minutes to restart the smallest task. You're never more than 5 steps from getting back on track. Environment design does half the work. Put friction where you want less and make smooth where you want more. Unplug the TV and put a book on the coffee table. Keep healthy snacks visible and junk food buried or absent. Rename folders and apps to prompt behavior. Write for 25. Practice guitar. Ship draft today. Future you will thank present you for removing decisions. Midway through the book comes a practical nudge. If you're finding these tools useful and want a steady stream of clear ideas with ready-to-use actions in audio form, follow Audiobook Lounge. You'll get bite-sized lessons that make daily building automatic. The weekly review is your control tower. Once a week, look back and ask 3 questions. What moved the needle? What created drag? And what's the simplest improvement for next week? Turn lessons into tiny rules. If it's after 10 p.m., no email. If I open the project, I write 1 ugly paragraph before I organize anything. If I feel stuck, I do the 2-minute version. Protect 1 clean square foot on your desk and 1 clean page in your notebook. When in doubt, start there. The book treats health as a performance multiplier, not a bonus. Hydrate early, eat mostly single-ingredient foods, walk after meals, and reserve caffeine for when it helps most. After your natural morning ramp-up or before deep work. Move daily in ways you'll actually repeat. The goal is not soreness, the goal is tomorrow. Money, career, and relationships also get a daily builder lens. With money, automate good behavior, pay yourself first, invest regularly, and avoid decision fatigue. With career, align your daily output with skills that compound in the market: communication, data literacy, and trust. With relationships, practice micro-moments. A full attention hello, a sincere thank you, a short follow-up after a conversation. Strong ties often begin with tiny acts done reliably. Procrastination is reframed as misdefined work. If a task is fuzzy, your brain resists. Clarify the verb and the starting point. Open the file and type the title. Draft the first ugly paragraph. Set a 2-minute sand timer and begin. Action creates clarity. Clarity creates motivation. To keep all this human, the author recommends a kind mirror. At day's end, write 3 lines. Something you kept, something you learned, and 1 small promise for tomorrow. Treat yourself like an athlete in training, firm, fair, and forward-looking. When you miss, repair fast. Integrity grows more from clean repairs than from impossible perfection. The book closes with a 30-day starter plan and a 90-day expansion. 30-day starter, day 1 to 7. Lock your minimums. Sleep window, 10 minutes of movement, 1 focus block, 1 page of learning. Put your phone outside the room during the block. Day 8 to 14. Add habit stacking and friction design. Pair a new habit with a proven one. Move obstacles closer to temptations you want less. Day 15 to 21. Run 2 deliberate practice drills on a skill that matters. Record, review, adjust. Ask for 1 piece of targeted feedback. Day 22 to 30. Implement a weekly review and a shutdown ritual. Write a 2-line identity you're proving with behavior. I'm a person who trains daily and ships 1 small thing. 90-day expansion. Phase 1. Build proof. Create a simple scoreboard you can see every day. Check marks for minimums, stars for ceiling days. Phase 2. Reduce friction. If-then rules for your 2 biggest traps. Phone outside the room in golden hours. Phase 3. Place a small bet. Pitch a mini project, publish weekly, host a short talk, or collaborate on a useful tool. Let results teach you where to go bigger. Throughout, remember the book's 3 quiet laws. First, the law of smallest next step. When in doubt, shrink it until you can do it now. Second, the law of visible wins. Celebrate closure, not just effort. Done notes, shipped drafts, logged sessions. Third, the law of kind momentum. Never zero. Half a dose on bad days keeps identity alive and makes good days easier. Real stories in the book bring the ideas home. A designer who never finished personal projects set a daily ship a square inch rule. 1 tiny visual published each day. 6 months later, those inches became a portfolio that changed her career. A new manager terrified of public speaking filmed a 1-minute explainer for his team every morning. By week 4, stand-ups felt natural. A parent who had no time to exercise tied squats to the kettle and walks to kid drop-off. Energy rose before weight dropped, and better choices followed. In the end, build yourself every single day isn't about grinding harder. It's about designing a life where the next right action is obvious, small, and already waiting for you. You stop auditioning for motivation and start trusting your cadence. You're not chasing a perfect day, you're building a reliable one. The identity you want grows from receipts you can see, the pages read, the drills done, the messages sent, the walks taken, the sleep honored. Take 1 breath. Pick 1 small situation in the next 24 hours. Decide the exact first move, the tiny version you can't fail. Do it. Write 1 honest line about what happened and the next step. Repeat that loop a handful of times this week. Brick by brick, you'll feel the gap between you and your best self closing. Not with drama, but with steady, quiet proof. And once you fall in love with proof, building yourself every single day becomes the most natural thing you do.